Welcome back, Celtics Nation and dedicated basketball fans from all around the world, to another massive deep dive into the absolute most spectacular performances happening in the National Basketball Association right now. Today we have an incredibly special and mind-blowing topic to discuss because we just witnessed something that rarely ever happens on a professional basketball court. We are talking about a performance so dominant and so incredibly efficient that it literally rewrote the history books and had statisticians scrambling to check their mathematical formulas. If you are a fan of offensive masterclasses, beautiful ball movement, and absolutely perfect shooting execution, you are going to love every single second of this breakdown. We are looking back at what transpired on Friday night when the Boston Celtics returned to the friendly and familiar confines of the TD Garden to host the Brooklyn Nets. Going into this matchup, fans were simply hoping for a solid victory to get the team back on track, but absolutely no one could have predicted the sheer offensive avalanche that was about to take place. There was not a whole lot of traditional nail-biting drama in this specific basketball game because the competitive aspect of the contest got completely out of hand very shortly after the halftime break. The Celtics came out of the locker room and absolutely rolled over the Nets, ultimately securing a massive 148-111 victory. However, the real drama, the kind of drama that keeps hardcore basketball nerds and dedicated analysts glued to their television screens, happened in the final agonizing minutes of the fourth quarter. The Boston Celtics were almost certainly completely unaware of it at the time, but as the clock was winding down, they were actively chasing a significant number of all-time National Basketball Association efficiency records. When the final buzzer finally sounded and the dust settled, the numbers looked absolutely fake. While the team came up just a tiny fraction short of breaking the all-time single-game records for overall field goal percentage, three-point field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, and overall offensive rating, they did manage to officially set a brand new historical mark. The Boston Celtics officially set the new all-time league record for effective field goal percentage in a single game, finishing the night at an absolutely staggering 80.8%. For those who might not know, effective field goal percentage is a highly advanced mathematical metric that adjusts the traditional shooting percentage to account for the fact that a three-point shot is worth 50% more than a standard two-point field goal. To achieve an effective field goal percentage over 80% across an entire 48-minute professional basketball game against elite athletes is something that sounds like it should only happen in a video game playing on the easiest possible difficulty setting. But this was real life, and it is exactly what happens when an entire professional basketball roster shoots an unbelievable 52 for 78 from the floor, which equates to 66.7% overall. Even more ridiculous is what they did from beyond the arc, shooting 22 for 34 from three-point range, which comes out to a blistering 64.7% over the course of the entire game. It was a night where absolutely everything was working flawlessly for head coach Joe Mazzulla and his offensive system. The basketball was popping around the perimeter, the driving lanes were wide open, and the shooting strokes were absolutely pure. Leading the charge for this historical night was superstar forward Jaylen Brown, who put on an absolute clinic in scoring efficiency. Brown finished his incredible night shooting 9 for 12 from the floor and a completely flawless perfect 4 for 4 from three-point territory. Every time the ball left his hands, the entire arena knew it was going straight through the bottom of the net. But he was far from alone in this statistical anomaly. Fan favorite guard Peyton Pritchard matched that exact same relentless energy, coming off the bench to also shoot 9 for 12 from the floor, including a spectacular 4 for 5 from deep. Pritchard was flying around the court, pulling up with absolute supreme confidence and punishing every single mistake the Brooklyn defense made. Adding to this offensive trio of perfection was the veteran center Nikola Vucevic, who continues to prove his immense worth to this championship-contending roster. Vucevic was an absolute master in the post and on the perimeter, shooting 9 for 13 overall and a perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Just between those three key players, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, and Nikola Vucevic, the Boston Celtics generated 78 points on completely outrageous, unearthly efficiency. But the most beautiful part of this historical performance is that it was not just a few star players getting incredibly hot. This was a complete top-to-bottom full roster masterclass in offensive execution. The role players and the young guys coming off the bench caught the exact same contagious shooting virus and simply refused to miss. Center Neemias Queta was an absolutely perfect 4 for 4 from the field, throwing down powerful dunks and finishing everything around the rim with total authority. Young sharpshooter Baylor Shireman came into the game and went a perfect 3 for 3, proving that his shooting stroke is fully ready for the big stage. Jordan Walsh stepped onto the hardwood and contributed a perfect 2 for 2 shooting night, showing great poise and confidence. Even Ron Harper Jr. got into the historical mix by making his only shot attempt to go 1-for-1. When you look at the box score and see that many players with 0 missed shots next to their names, you begin to truly understand how special this night was. Moving beyond the guys who were literally perfect, the rest of the roster was still operating at an elite level. Promising young talent Hugo Gonzalez had a fantastic showing by shooting 4 for 6 from the field, displaying great aggression and touch. Even the guys who were statistically the worst shooters on the team for the night were still putting up numbers that most NBA players would kill for on a regular Tuesday. Sam Hauser, who is typically one of the most reliable floor spacers on the team, finished 5 for 9, and the always steady reliable guard Derek White finished his night shooting 4 for 9. Now, as funny as it sounds, we do have to talk about the final 5 minutes of the game and how one specific player might have accidentally ruined an even more historic night for the franchise. I definitely do not want to dump all of this blame on Dalano Banton because he is a hardworking player who was just out there trying to get some rhythm in garbage time. But he came into the game for the final 5 minutes of this massive blowout and shot just 1 for 4 from the field. It sounds incredibly nitpicky, but mathematically speaking, if you were to simply take away those few missed shots during the final minutes when the game was completely out of hand and already decided, the Boston Celtics would have essentially captured the #1 all-time top spot for almost every single possible offensive statistic that measures efficiency in any way, shape, or form. Those 3 missed shots at the very end of the game were literally the only thing standing between Boston and a clean sweep of the entire NBA historical record book. Even still, with those late-game misses factored into the final equation, this was, by any metric you want to use, either the absolute best or firmly the second-best offensive performance in the entire history of the league. They recorded the second-best offensive rating and the second-best true shooting percentage ever seen in a single game, both of which are brand-new franchise records for the incredibly storied Boston Celtics organization. Looking at the bigger picture of the current season, this offensive explosion pushes the Celtics' offensive rating for the year to the absolute upper echelon of the league. They now possess the second-best rated offense in the entire association, sitting just tiny microscopic fractions of a point behind Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. To put that into a historical perspective, if the season ended today, that overall team rating would currently rank as the 6th best offense in the entire history of the sport, keeping in mind that the 2024 championship Boston Celtics squad still proudly holds the #1 all-time record for full-season offensive rating. This game against Brooklyn was a truly beautiful and incredibly welcome sight to see for the fans and the coaching staff because, to be completely honest, the Celtics had actually hit a bit of an offensive snag in recent weeks. Throughout the entire month of February, the team had been relying extremely heavily on their elite defensive schemes to win basketball games, while their offense looked a little bit sluggish, uninspired, and out of rhythm on certain nights. They were finding ways to grind out tough victories, but that beautiful, flowing, beautiful offensive machine that we saw earlier in the year was somewhat missing in action. But thankfully, this matchup served as the ultimate get-right game. It was their very first time playing a home game in front of their passionate fans at the TD Garden since way back on February 11th. They had been on a long, grueling road trip dealing with travel fatigue and hostile environments. Coming back home to the familiar lighting, the comfortable locker room, and the roaring Boston crowd clearly worked absolute wonders for their overall team rhythm. It also certainly helped that they were going up against a Brooklyn Nets team that currently possesses one of the absolute worst and most porous defenses in the entire league. That specific combination of returning home, getting some much-needed rest, and facing a struggling defensive opponent created the absolute perfect storm for an incredible record-setting shooting night. The ball was moving with purpose, players were setting rock-solid screens, and every single pass seemed to find the shooting pocket perfectly. This record-setting performance is exactly the kind of massive confidence booster a championship contending team needs as the regular season schedule gets tougher. With any luck, this historic offensive showcase is a glaring sign of bright things to come for this extremely talented Celtics team as they officially hit the final stretch run of the season and prepare their minds and bodies for a grueling playoff push. When the offense is clicking at this specific level and the defense remains locked in, there is simply not a single team in the world that can beat them in a 7-game series. I want to know exactly what all of you guys think about this absolutely wild, historic performance. Did you watch the game live, and could you feel that history was being made with every single swish, or were you just enjoying the massive blowout victory? Do you think this current iteration of the Celtics can surpass the 2024 team as the greatest offense of all time, or will the Denver Nuggets hold them off for the #1 spot this year? Please head down into the comment section right now and let me know all of your deepest thoughts, opinions, and bold predictions, because I absolutely love reading through your perspectives and sparking these major league-wide debates within our amazing community. If you thoroughly enjoyed this massive deep dive into Boston making NBA history and you want to stay completely up to date on all the absolute latest news, intense rumors, and high-level tactical analysis, please do me a massive personal favor and hit that subscribe button right now to officially join the channel family. We are constantly bringing you high-quality, deeply researched basketball content all week long, and we would absolutely love to have you on board as we push toward the playoffs. Also, please be sure to smash that like button on the video if you truly appreciate the detailed breakdown, as it really helps the channel grow, and absolutely do not forget to click the little notification bell icon and turn on all alerts so you never miss an upload when we drop brand new exciting content for you to enjoy. Finally, if you want to take your incredible support to the next level and directly help us fund the research and production of these videos, please consider clicking the join button down below to become an official channel member. It is a quick and easy way to support the content creation process, and it gives you access to some really cool exclusive perks. Thank you all so incredibly much for taking the valuable time out of your day to watch this deep dive, and I will eagerly see all of you in the very next video.